Then the soil composition. Soil mineralogy. Silts, sands and gravels are classified by their size and hence they may consist of a variety of materials. Owing to the stability of quartz compared to other rock minerals, quartz is the most common constituents of sand and silt. Mica and feldspar are other common minerals present in the sands and silts. The mineral constituents of gravel may be more similar to that of the parent rock. The common clay minerals are montmorillonite or smectite, illite and kaolinite or kaolin. These minerals tend to form in sheet or plate-like structures with length typically ranging between 10 to the power minus 7 meter and 4 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter, and thickness typically ranging between 10 to the power minus 9 meter and 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter. And they have a relatively large specific surface area. The specific surface area, that is SSA, is defined as the ratio of the surface area of particles to the mass of the particles. Clay minerals typically have specific surface area in the range of 10 to 1000 square meters per gram of solid. Due to the large surface area available for chemical, electrostatic and van der Waals interaction, the mechanical behavior of clay minerals is very sensitive to the amount of pore fluid available and the type and amount of dissolved ions in the pore fluid. To anticipate the effect of clay on the way a soil will behave, it is necessary to know the kind of clays as well as the amount present. As home builders and highway engineers know all too well, soils containing certain high activity clays make very unstable material on which to build because they swell when wet and shrink when dry. This shrink and soil action can easily crack foundation and cause retaining walls to collapse. These clays also become extremely sticky and difficult to work with when they are wet. In contrast, low activity clays formed under different conditions can be very stable and easy to work with. The mineral soils are predominantly formed by atoms of oxygen, silicon, hydrogen and aluminum, organized in various crystalline forms. These elements, along with calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium and carbon dioxide, constitute over 19% of the solid mass of soils. Then the grain size distribution. Soils consist of a mixture of particles of different size, shape and mineralogy. Because the size of the particles obviously has a significant effect on the soil behavior, the grain size and grain size distribution are used to classify soils. The grain size distribution describes the relative proportions of particles of various sizes. The grain size is often visualized in a cumulative distribution graph which, for example, plots the percentage of particles finer than a given size as a function of size. The medium grain size, the D50, is the size of which 50% of the particle mass consists of finer particles. Soil behavior, especially the hydraulic conductivity, tends to be dominated by the smaller particles. Hence, the term effective size, denoted by D10, is defined as the size for which 10% of the particle mass consists of the finer particles. Sands and gravels that possesses a wide range of particle sizes with the smooth distribution of particle size are called well-graded soils. If the soil particles in a sample are predominantly in a relatively narrow range of sizes, the sample is uniformly graded. If a soil sample has distinct gaps in the gradation curve, that is a mixture of gravel and the fine sand with no coarse sand, the sample may be gap graded. Uniformly graded and gap graded soils are both considered to be poorly graded. There are many methods for measuring particle size distribution. The two traditional methods are sieve analysis